Hello and welcome to the first module of this course, Self-Driving Car. Now that you have PyTorch and Kivy installed on your system, we are ready to start implementing the self-driving car, and I can tell you we have an exciting adventure ahead of us. So the first thing we're going to do now before we start is set the right folder as working directory. That's very important because we are going to have 3 files to implement this car, and all the cars are connected to each other. So when you execute a file, it will take the classes, functions, and objects from another file, and this other file has to be in the same working directory as the file that you're executing. That's why it's very important to have one same folder with all the files, and that is your working directory folder. So let's just get this done, and then we will be able to start. So first thing you do is go to File Explorer here. That's this window, and then you will probably be on your desktop. So right now, as you can see, I'm on my desktop, or maybe you'll be in your documents. But anyway, you have to find the folder that contains your artificial intelligence A to Z template folder that you downloaded from the SDS website that Kirill walked you through. So just find this folder, then open it from File Explorer, then go to Module 1, Self-Driving Car, and then there you go. This Module 1 Self-Driving Car folder contains 3 files. That's the 3 files that are connected to each other to implement not only the self-driving car on the map, but also the brain of the car, that is the AI that will be integrated to the car. And so this folder containing these 3 files is your working directory folder. And now to make sure that this folder is set as working directory, you can click on the tool button here and then restart kernel. Then you can click on yes, and there you go. Now you are sure 100% that this folder containing your 3 files is set as working directory. Okay, and so now before we start, I would just like to explain quickly what are these 3 files. So as you probably recognized, the first one here, ai.py, is the file that contains the brain of the car. So that's in this file that we will implement the artificial intelligence that will be integrated to the car. So that's why I'm calling it the brain of the car, because this artificial intelligence is based on a neural network. So it will be like the car will have a neural network inside of it. That's why I like to call it brain. Then the second file here is a Kivy file, car.kv. And you cannot open it here in Spyder, but you can open it from a text editor. And actually that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm opening it with Sublime Text. There we go. That is Sublime Text. And this is this car.kv file opened in Sublime Text. For those of you who are on Windows, you can open it with Notepad++. So here is what the Kivy code looks like. We're not going to focus on it in this course because this is only related to Kivy, but basically to understand what's going on here, well, as you can see, we create several objects that will be on the map. So for example, this first object here is the car, and for this car you can define some variables like the angle, that is the angle of rotation. Then you can define the shape that you want your car to have. So it will be a rectangle, like the basic shape of a car. Then you have some other objects, ball 1, ball 2, and ball 3. So these 3 balls here will be, as you will see later, the sensors of the car, because the car will have sensors that will detect if there is some obstacles around the car. So these 3 balls here are just to highlight the sensors on the car. So we will see them, and besides, I set a different color for each of them. And then we have a last object, which is to connect all the previous objects together to make the car, because the sensors will be attached to the car so that when the car moves, well, the sensor moves as well. Alright, but this is not the most important here, so we're gonna move on to Python. This is just to show you what Kivy looks like. And this file, of course, will be connected to our other files, and mostly it will be connected to the third file, map.py, which is this one right here. And map.py, what is it? Well, this is where we make the whole map, and also the whole game, because you will see that we will be playing some games with the car. We will give it some challenges, like avoiding some obstacles or doing some round trips between 2 destinations on a more and more difficult road. So we will make a game, and that game happens in this big file here. So this file is important, therefore we're going to see it in details. However, since this is not directly related to AI, we will not code it line by line. I will just explain each line of code. Besides, in the template folder, you'll find the same code as this one, but commented. So each line of code will be commented, so that if you're interested in knowing how to develop a game within a Kivy application, well, you will be able to understand everything that we do here. But what's important also is that not only we make the map and the game, but also we make some important connections between the map and the future AI that we will implement afterwards. And by the way, this is much more important, and therefore we will implement it step by step. We will write together each of these lines of code. But for the map, I will just describe all the code sections here, and that's what I will do in the next section, right after this tutorial. I think the next two tutorials are important for you to understand the connection between the map and the AI. Alright, so I will be explaining all this in the next tutorial, and until then, enjoy AI!